I am El General. I want you for the universal girl, something different to me. Love transcends space and all time. How you have the Egyptian wine, confidence like the moon and stars it a shine. Lady, don't be modest. I tell you, baby, show the whole world you're a goddess. Baby girl, don't be shy, hold up your head, I, don't be modest. Me, I tell you, baby, show the whole world you're a goddess. Girl, you reign supreme, more than an empress and a queen. You are fearless, warriors, girl, you're never nervous. Confidence, girl, you got it surplus. You're not join Babylon circus, cause it don't serve your higher purpose. Your sexy mind and soul and body have no weak. No evil spirit could hurt us. You look fit, you make my vibration happy. Mama grow you up so virtuous. Don't be modest. Me, I tell you, baby, show the whole world you're a goddess. Baby girl, don't be shy, hold up your head, I.
One person, she's here. She's adding. Hey. I hate when I do that. How come it's not? Try again. Check your Wi-Fi thingy.
Hi, my lovely. Yay! I'm so glad. I was a bit nervous of the technology, so I'm so glad that it worked. Yeah, my love.
I'm fine. Oh, you look lovely. I love that green top. Oh my god, I love it.
Thank you. So do you look very beautiful as well?
Oh, thank you. I've got my hair on the other side today. I normally have
I like that.
Yeah, but I've got it on this side today, so awesome.
Switch it up a little bit.
I know, innit? Oh my god. So do you know what's funny? Every time I start these FB lives, whoever my guest is, we just end up laughing initially.
Isn't it? It's because it's all exciting. It's great energy, so it's good. It's good.
Exactly. So, how are you anyway, honey? How's things? Is everything fine?
Amazing. Kids are back at school.
Yay. Oh my god. Mine were off from Monday. They just went back today. Like, imagine that.
Nightmare. No, can't do. They've got shit to do.
Well, this is it. So, thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest today. You know, I like to do these FB lives because we explore topics and subjects that, you know, we have in our everyday conversation, but we don't have like in public forums, and it's kind of needed to have these conversations in public forums, and especially when it comes to spirituality, because people really get it confused. I mean, this week a topic has been, you know, what is consciousness, and are we kind of creating a kind of religion out of consciousness and being woke, you know? So with these types of topics that we're having, we're kind of breaking those stigmas that the brain likes, or the ego likes to create around the freedom of the law of the universe.
100%, especially when it comes to topics like this, because it's so much bullshit, and when there starts to become rules put in place, like you have to do that, that's when it becomes more religion-like, doesn't it, rather than being spiritual?
Because consciousness for me is basically being aware of what's going on around me and inside of me, negative and positive. It's just about that awareness, and with that awareness, you know, I can also be conscious of the fact that I'm not aware of something, and it kind of stops there, and then it's a personal journey from that onwards for me personally.
100%, I totally agree. Consciousness is literally awareness, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've had conversations before that it's not about being perfect, it's just being aware and conscious when we are out of alignment or where we are in ego. And I think the more we can bring ourselves back to that consciousness, the easier it is to raise our consciousness, because we're aware and we learn it.
Yeah. And it's not about, you know, there's no 10 commandments to being so-called woke or conscious. There's no 10 commandments. There's no book. You are that book. You're writing that story yourself, and that is where the power lies for me personally.
100%. I totally agree.
So today, Emily, we're going to be talking about twin flames. So what is it that you do? And let's go into the conversation.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just quickly introduce myself. So obviously my name's Emily, and I mainly work with people in business, and I'm a manifestation teacher, law of attraction coach, and I help women become consistent, powerful manifestors so that they can live the life that they want. And this includes manifesting soulmate relationships. So everything is linked. I help people to manifest money, sales, clients, soulmate clients, and soulmate. When it comes to flames, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
There is a load of, it's, you know, if you read a lot about the topic, a lot of just ego-driven, romanticized. People like romanticize it in their heads and make it something it's not. And for me, it's been going on a journey to find out my truth about twin flames. It's such an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll explain firstly my view of what a twin flame is. Yeah, so, a twin flame, so we've all got a soul, as you know. And at one point, the soul gets so big, so that in order to come back and reincarnate the physical body, the soul has to, it literally can't come back because it's so big. So when it splits, it becomes your twin. Again, twin flame is I prefer mirror soul. It's your mirror soul. So we've got our twin, our mirror soul, and they are the exact matching frequency and pattern of our soul.
Okay.
And so then our soul family outside of that, and then the soul family will got similar goes out, and the patterns are even further away until eventually, you know, we don't have the same pattern.
Okay.
So our flame stands for, and that as. So that's quite interesting because not everybody has a twin. Because not everybody's soul has got to the point where it needed to split. That doesn't make everybody better than everybody else, because there's a lot of ego stuff out there. So, you know, manipulation is much better if it's a twin flame, and that's really not true. You've got a twin. I'm lucky enough to have met my last year, and I know that I've been since that every life again. That might not be a romantic mom or you know, a friend, but as somebody that is in a romantic relationship, that's quite interesting too. So,
Okay.
So that's what So what else do you want me to explain? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it made complete sense, because basically, okay, so is it important to meet your twin flame in your lifetime now, or is it just helpful, or, you know, is it something that we need to look forward to?
Definitely something to look forward to, because I think that being able to be with your twin flame, because you meet your twin flame, and you might meet your twin flame in public, but it might not be that time for you to be together, because twin flames bring up your shit. They bring up your shit. They're your mirror soul. So because you're looking at the biggest key to being able to hold a relationship with your twin, it's not about meeting them, it's holding that relationship with them.
Yeah.
Is self-love. Because if you don't love yourself and then someone comes along that's a mirror for you, you're gonna find it really hard to love that person. So I'll tell you a story. When I was manifesting my partner, now I wasn't consciously manifesting a twin flame relationship. I was just manifesting my divine selection.
Okay.
And in meditation, I connected with his soul, and now I wanted somebody that was going to love and adore me exactly the way that I was. And I what do I need to do in order to be that person? And then you love yourself exactly the way you are. Kind of, love you exactly the way you are, or love himself that way. If you don't do that, I went on a big journey of self-love. Self-love is really, really massively important.
Yeah.
Like,
Because, all right then, for example, if somebody is seeing someone or around someone, initially you can feel really anxious, and I'm starting to feel like that anxiety is obviously excitement, not a negative thing all the time, but we have to be conscious of the way that we're acting when we're having our initial interactions with people, because I feel like when you meet your twin flame, it's almost as though you reflect each other. So if you're acting negatively, then that person will act kind of negatively. So how would you categorize that and describe it so it's more understandable? That's mine, sweetheart. Thank you. That's okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give a really great example. So me and my twin, we have not been able to physically be together. So sometimes when you meet your twin, they can be challenging. So we've had to have a long distance. And that's another little note, that sometimes your twin may be someone from a different culture, from a different country. There may be things in that way. Not always going to be easy.
Yeah.
But what happened is that when I met my twin, it brought up so much shit that I needed to clear. So in a relationship when I was like 21, I was cheated on. But I never dealt with that. Just pushed it away. Went and did my thing, met my kid's dad, never had an issue with cheating, never even thought about it. But in this man that I loved with all my heart, it brought up all my shit. I was like jealous and
Okay.
like I was and thinking and possessive, and it was bringing up all this stuff. I knew that I could do that. You know what I did then? He started to get really jealous, and because I was bringing up from mine, he was reflecting me, and we was like all jealous, and that's not me really. Mm-hmm. So I had to go on I had to be able to heal that, and us having the time and space away gave me the chance to really go and heal that part of me. As soon as I healed that part, guess what? He's not jealous.
So do you think someone leads? Do you think someone leads then? Is it the more conscious one leads or not? How does that work?
That's a really interesting question, because you usually do find there's one that is slightly more conscious.
Okay.
And what happens then is that you get, and you hear a lot about this, about the runner and the chaser. But what happens is that someone gets scared. So say, for example, for me, getting all these feelings of jealousy and all this stuff, and like fear that he's going to leave me, he's going to cheat, and all these fears, I could deal with that because of my level of consciousness. Mm-hmm. And so, but if he had done that, he ran away. So what happens if you get a runner and a chaser? Because then one's like, oh my God, this is scary. I can't deal with this. I'm going to run away. Whereas the one that's more conscious is going to think, okay, like, how can I deal with this? What do I need to heal? What's my awareness about this? And so you do find that there is one that is slightly more conscious. That's just in my view. That's not all of the time.
Yeah.
That definitely does happen.
It would be good to explore whether it's the woman or the man, like which one is more, not saying, obviously if the one's more conscious than the other one, then they obviously would lead. But I mean, I wonder who's ahead more often than the other.
Another very interesting question, because from my experience of looking at people in these situations, it is usually the man that is the runner and the woman that's the chaser.
Okay.
It is, and you know, again, that's just typically how it is. But yeah, it's interesting that, and I think what it is. I mean, for me personally, I think that a lot of if you look at women and men generally, I think a lot of women are here to learn about power, and men are here to learn about love. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes because a woman's really great at loving, then they can do the same thing because they're used to giving, giving, giving. Whereas the man, like this is like bringing up all the stuff, and they don't know how to deal with that. Generally, they run. Generally,
Yeah, because the thing is, if we're looking at it from a cosmic aspect where, you know, we're all trying to reach different frequencies, different levels, and we're obviously going to bound from one to the other, lower and higher, etc., in order for us to elevate. You know, when it comes to your twin flame, some of us will probably be kind of on a lower frequency. So the one who is leading, so to speak, she or he will be the one to aspire, who aspires to that next level of selves. And if you can understand that as twin flames, then you can you know, you can master it a bit better then, and you can understand it, and everybody kind of knows their role and their place within that evolution process. Hey
100%.
Tamai.
Hello,
Oh,
hi.
I can't put Tamai. I need to pronounce her name properly because she's such a beautiful girl. um it's her birthday today.
Ah, happy birthday, beautiful.
I'll say to myself, all right, I'm going to say happy birthday to my, yes, today. So, happy birthday to you, honey. Mwah,
Happy
mwah, mwah.
birthday.
Big kisses. Oh, and no worries, you're not late. You're here on time, sweetheart. So we were just saying that basically, if couples can get, you know, once you kind of realize that you are twin flames and you know that you kind of mirror each other, you can work out which one is the one who leads and which one is the one who, you know, follows. Not to make it sound all horrible and
Yeah,
sheepish, you know, but who follows. Then you can kind of understand the different frequencies that you kind of trying to elevate to, and balance that.
yeah. I mean, another great example of that is that I had a numerology reading, and this
Okay.
numerology, because it was, I think, with what happens with relationships is that so close to it, so much emotions that it's hard to get as insights as what you would do on normal situation. When emotions and attachment, sometimes that can get your ego going, fears going, the little voices going.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
something with your kids, that's sometimes harder to get that insight, that spiritual insight, because you've got so much attachment. And that's what I found. And I had this great numerology reading, and basically what she said is that I will help people to I will help him to spiritually grow and
Yeah.
to awaken even further from where he is. But then what
Yeah.
will happen? Me doing that, he will then help me to awaken even further to the next level. So it's kind of
Ah.
like I'm helping him to awaken, and then he will do that for me. So it's kind of like that different levels, and eventually somebody you hopefully, if you grow and you keep learning and evolving, you'll be on that similar level. And this is something that is quite interesting, is that a lot of people say, and it's very hard to say the definite truth, but when you come with in flame and you really do that work, then it can be your last time to reincarnate on Earth. So it can be more close level by being. So I don't think you ever say this is always. Going back to your question before, the reason why it's important to meet your twin, but it's not the be end and end all. And I don't think people focus solely on, is this my twin, is this
Okay.
not my twin? And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
takes over, and then it stops the whole, because life, you're here to enjoy life, have abundance, grow, have fun. And if you're constantly looking for something and thinking that it's got to be that to be good, then you're
Yeah.
missing out on the magic of life.
So how do you know when you've met your twin flame though?
Personally, as soon as I just knew, I knew that it was something. Do you know, like when you meet people and you feel that connection, and you feel that, like I felt that loads of times with people, not just men but women. You know, like you feel that connection, don't you? But this was something different. Straight away, I was like, you are my other half. It was a knowing. For me, it was a knowing.
Oh, that just made me feel all shy and cute and stuff. Like,
it's just this knowing, but then sometimes when you get that knowing, your mind can work on, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, is it not? And I had a lot of fears coming up, and when I used to meditate, I used to have little things going, he's not the one. But that was my ego, but my ego was scared because it's scary.
yeah.
It is a scary thing. So my ego, even when I was meditating, the only time at that point where the truth really came out was after I did Kundalini. That's when I could see his soul, and I was like, no, I knew then. So you have to be aware of all these thoughts coming up that can get in the way, and you know, it's quite a complex.
Yeah, but it's not just about the thoughts though as well, because I have met people who I think, oh, that's your twin flame, or that's my twin flame, but then I'm realizing that the physical boundaries that are in our realities are also creating a block towards us kind of, you know, merging together as twin flames and growing together. So for example, you know, that person could already be in a relationship. They could live in another country. You know, how do we battle those types of, not just the thoughts, but
I think that if you're at a level of consciousness where you can take these things into account, then you wouldn't necessarily see boundaries as a bigger problem as what other people might. Other people might go, oh, they live in a different country. You know my situation, we couldn't physically be there. Yeah. So would have thought, no, that's, you know, it's supposed to be easy, this is not right, and no, it's never going to work, and walk away. Yeah. When you know that something is right, and you both feel it, and you just have to have that awareness and do what it takes, and forget about other people's, forget about someone else's perception. Really, you know, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's about you going on your own personal journey.
Yeah. That's just what I'm seeing at the moment. And another thing that happened to me the other day, I asked my tarot card something, and it just brought up total ego. Like, it was just like my fear standing in my face, and I was like, right, I'm not going to pursue this person. I'm not going to get involved because my tarot card said some shit. But I keep forgetting that. For me personally, my tarot cards are my lower self. Like, they tell me a lot about what I'm fearing, whereas then my angel cards now, that speaks from my higher self. So, you know, those types of things as well, because it's not just about like seeking counsel for spiritual women anyway. It's not just about them seeking counsel with their friends. We get kind of clarity off our friends, don't we? We kind of just like make sense of what the junk that's going on. But then when we access our cards now, like the tarot cards or our angel cards, etc., that's where the ultimate, it's like we consult spirit for the final kind of say. And I think that's important as well, to work out what cards represent your lower self and what cards represent your higher self. So especially when it comes to like hard decisions, like deciding whether your twin flame is the man in your life, and then evaluating the boundaries around it. If you choose it from the wrong cards, you seek counsel from the wrong cards, it can all just kind of go all over the place. And it's like, you know, you've really got to be conscious of that.
100%. And the thing is though as well, is that through the law of attraction, is that we will manifest whatever we believe, whatever we are looking for. So sometimes you can manifest information to say that is your twin flame or it isn't, based on what you're feeling and you're believing. And actually, so it's very muddy, and this is why you can't say to someone, oh well, it's a clear cut as this. This is why I always say that your divine selection, rather than, you know, like, you do not get the whole twin flame thing. You work yourself, self-love going, sometimes it's not complex.
Yeah, I get that because okay, so like I met a guy some years ago, and we really kind of hit it off, and then some boundaries came in, and it was like, nah, like I didn't bother pursue it, but then this person keeps popping up in my life. So do you think that that's not necessarily that that person's a twin flame, but I'm just using it as an example? Do you think that could be that we're not ready yet to
Yeah,
be in a space of growing together, or like, is that what
definitely.
you're saying?
But I always say to my like it's, it's the total of my life. Other half, like literally, love this person so much. And but if I'd met him when I was 20, because we're both very similar, we would have had more of our shadow sides.
Yeah.
Able to connect because we would have been fighting for dominance. We would have been because I already see that we've got that within us anyway. So
Yeah.
now I can take a back seat and let someone talk and let someone be. When I was young, I was so much in my ego, so like passionate and opinionated. So it's been lovely to be back then. It's not easy to grow, and at the point where I can let him actually.
Yeah. I know, and at the same time, sometimes us women were like, I don't think so. I'm not being funny, but I know my worth. I'm not pursuing this person, blah, 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 with all the lack of understanding and not knowing when we're in our ego and when we're not. It's just like we can kind of rip ourselves off from, spending some good time with some nice people.
Yes, definitely, 100%. And it's funny, just going back to the whole, you're talking about cards, and I had a numerology reading, and this is how funny it is that I was having this numerology reading. She said, "Have you got a partner? Give me his numbers, and I'll read his numbers." And you know what? I wouldn't give them to her. Do you know why? I was scared. I was so scared. She's going to tell me the one. She's going to tell me this, and I was so scared that.
Oh.
Give me his numbers. And I did, and that's when I got confirmation. But because it's and I believe that we can find our own truth, but sometimes it's nice just to have that outward confirmation.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that was when I was like, oh my god, yeah, and it made me relax into it because there's so much fear around it that even when you are conscious, you still get scared. It's a scary thing, and me and him have this conversation like it's like this is scary because this person, and then it's like, well, but it does take a lot of growth. But the definite thing is that if you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, your mirror flame, your mirror soul, your twin flame is going to bring up that. So if anyone listening to this who are single and they want to meet their divine selection, the best person for them, best thing for them to do is to work on their own self-love, and it will naturally
Yeah. I've had to do a lot of that, and it's nice though because you can bring people in and let them go easier. It's not like you don't get so attached to people and situations when you look at it from that perspective. I've met quite a few guys, and I think to myself, if that's what side of myself I've attracted, then I don't think I want to speak to this person again. And it makes it easier rather than you kind of longing it out and making the investments, whether it's financially, time, energy, you're just like, I don't really like this side of myself, see you later kind of thing, without projecting or even having to say much to that person, because at the same time they're where they're at, and that side of yourself might not be on a journey to spiritual enlightenment or on a spiritual journey, on a self-love journey. So it's not always good to be saying, oh, you need to know yourself or whatever, blah blah blah. We like to say to people when we're disappointed, it's about just saying, do you know what, to yourself, do you know what, that's not the level that I'm on, or that's not where I'm at, and that's not the side of myself that I want to be entertaining. It just kind of makes you more humble and a bit more more caring.
Yeah, more protective of your own energy. And it's very similar to is to clients.
Yeah.
Stuff is so simple to clients, because as when you first start your business and you're a bit like unsure of yourself, and you might take on clients that don't make you feel good, and then pay you, they don't invest money and all that. But then as you grow and you go on your business journey and you get self-love and you get more confident, eventually you'd say no to those type of clients, and it's the same in relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. most definitely. So tell us more about the reflection side of things, where you can use that person as a reflective tool, and why that's important.
Yeah. Well, I think for our own growth, again, to have that awareness of ourselves, if someone comes along and just shows you exactly, you look in the mirror, you see a reflection. You look at this person, you see a reflection, and you see all kinds of things coming up. And I remember saying to my guy, I said, I was explaining all this stuff about twin flame, and he really got it, felt it. But I remember saying to him once, I must have told him something I didn't like about, or something, and he went, well, I am the mirror of your soul. So if you don't like it in me, you must not like it in yourself.
Ah, that's good. That's good. And that's because you're having the conversation. That's
Yeah.
really, really good. That is, because then now he's reminding you of, and prompting you to grow. That's so beautiful. That's beautiful once you can get that.
It is, and you know what as well, is that when you look at this person and you say, I love this about them, I love this about them, I love that, and all the things that you love, you're saying all the things you love about yourself. If you met your twin and he was like, or anybody, well, I don't like this and I'm not sure about that, then that's just saying that you've got loads of more things about yourself that you don't like than you do. So if you look at this person, you're like, oh my God, I love this, I love all of that, then that shows your level of self-love. Let me just plug my charger in because I'm getting a bit low. Hold on one second. It's still balanced because I'm back on the charger. So yeah, I mean the reflection, and again, it's a real example of your ability to look at yourself, because sometimes it's not comfortable looking in that mirror. Sometimes it's not comfortable seeing stuff, and you will have a really great idea of how much work you need to do on yourself, or have done on yourself. Look, I've done a lot of work around this. I was single for 5 years, and because I'm a manifestation coach, I've done a lot of this work.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm not perfect at all, but I know I'm very aware of, my shadow side, my light side, and so it's really easy for me to meet mine, because I'm quite happy to look at the stuff that I don't like about myself. But that's because I love myself enough to be able to look at the shit that I don't like, and he does reflect that.
And that's the hard thing, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people who don't want to reflect, in everyday life. And I mean, when I first started looking at people as though they were myself, so for example, say friends who had low self-esteem with relationships, this is not necessarily looking at it from a twin flame perspective, but more so when I was doing the personal work on myself. So I noticed that some of my friends were just really had really low self-esteem, and I'd be like, oh my God. And it's because you don't want to look at them like that, you don't want to look at yourself like that, so you just kind of switch off and ignore it. But it's just so important so that you can grow and start to really manifest what it is that you want. And for however long it takes you to kind of work on that and accept that and embrace it, is how long it will take you to manifest the right things in your life. It's even you want a new car, you got to kind of work out what the negative mindset is around that. Do I deserve it? Am I worthy of it? Why should I have it? Do you think you should have it? All those types of questions. And it's the same thing in relationships, I guess. And in order for us to attract our twin flames, so that we can reach that higher self, you have to be the kind of person who doesn't mind looking at your lower self, no matter how ugly it is.
It's a great example, because a lot of things I talk about as well is self-love, body confidence, and personal power. I think those 3 things are key in manifesting anything, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
It's like, when you look in the mirror and you've got this pouch there, you've got stretch marks, you've got these things.
Yeah.
I remember looking in the mirror, I couldn't look at them, I'd look away, I'd cover it up, tuck it all in, hide it all away. And it was uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah, that's like me.
Yeah, but it's like your personality, isn't it? It's that sometimes that part of your growth is uncomfortable to look at, but it's getting ourselves to the point where, we can say, you know what, look, I love myself, regardless, I love every little bit of myself, even the stuff that is, sometimes I'm loud, I'm opinionated, I'm bossy, I can be a bitch, I've got a temper. But I've had to learn to love all those sides of me.
Yeah.
And I love that side, because all of those things have got a good point used in the right, in the right way. And so I think it is being able to look in the mirror physically, emotionally, mentally, and be prepared to get uncomfortable, because it is uncomfortable looking at yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy, is it really?
No, it's not easy at all. And the thing is, it's like, and then you become that person who people don't want to kind of be around, because they don't want to look at themselves, and because you're on that journey of looking at yourself through others, and then they're learning and they're doing it, and they can't do it. And sometimes we have to accept in our relationships, and when we do meet our twin flames as well, that some of them sometimes they're not ready, and they have to go back and come back again, and we've got to be comfortable with that as well, and not kind of make it say too much about ourselves.
Yeah, that's it. Because, you know, this is the thing about, you know, the whole romantic side of twin flames, you know, and it's easy to read stuff about twin flames and say, oh, this is what it is. Like, I've had to really, like, look at my truth, and in the end, I thought, you know what, there's twin flame coaches out there. I personally, even though I love helping people to find their soulmate, their divine selection, I've never called myself a twin flame coach, because for me personally, I think it puts too much emphasis on, I've got to find, it's ego, isn't it? You've got to find a twin flame for it to be like the right relationship, and that's just ego. But, you know, you might have to have the divine selection, might be the next person to come along in order for you to meet twin flame, or not. Your twin flame might be somebody, it might be your mom, your child, your friend. Like, it might necessarily be someone who you could have a relationship with in this lifetime.
So that's interesting, because somebody asked me that question: can you meet your twin flame in your friendships? Because one of my friends, we very much grow with each other. And she was like, do you think I'm your twin flame? I said, well, when I speak to Emily, I'm going to ask her. So do you think that friends and you can...
That can happen. It can happen. Although I think that because we've got our soul family, it's like we've got our mirror soul, but then we've got people who are very, very close to our vibrational patterns, and it can be like a soulmate relationship can be just as fulfilling, and you can grow just as much as with your mirror soul, but definitely can be friends. A lot of time you find that people are married, that people, it can be the same sex. So the twin flame, you might be a man, there might be a man, and again, that's that whole boundaries thing you was talking about, that, you know, that is another boundary, doesn't it? And so, you know, your twin flame you could just pass your twin flame in meeting, and of course, it doesn't mean to say that you haven't had like a successful life with twin flame. That's what I don't like about the whole twin flame coaches. It's like they're making people, again, it's another thing to like beat yourself up about, isn't it? Oh, well, I'm not with my twin, it's not that evolved or something, and that's just bullshit.
Or this relationship isn't that great, because they don't make as much effort in their current relationship, because they believe that they haven't met their twin flames yet.
And people get too obsessed, don't they, about that, rather than sitting there and enjoying life. And I think that if you ask for the divine selection to be brought to you, whoever you need for your growth, to be the happiest that you want and to provide you with what you want, you can manifest that relationship. If it's your twin, that's great. If it's not, that's great too. And that can give you just as much opportunity for growth. And you never know what's going to happen. Like life, you know, you might meet your twin when you're 77. Like, you just don't know.
And the thing is, that means it's just kind of energy manifesting in different body forms, in different physical forms.
Yeah, it is. And no, it is. But it is a really, really interesting topic. But I think my main point that for anybody that's single out there is that not to get hung up on thinking that twin flames is a be end and end all, and go constantly looking for their twin. You know, I think it's lovely that if you meet that person, oh, is it my twin? But not then dismissing it if you didn't think that it was. And also, like we've said before, that your mind is very powerful. If, you know, you might be with your twin, but you might, through fear, like, no, it's not the right one, and you might run away and hide because don't forget, the energy is intense. So the energy in your twin can be intense. So that's easy to go, this is too much, I'm going to walk away. And that's why you get the runners and the chasers. So, you know, it's really complex. And sometimes your ego might be telling you it is or it isn't your twin flame when it isn't either, you know. So just really, it takes awareness to consciously create these types of relationships.
So what type of signs, what things, like, so say I met my twin flame, what kind of things would prompt me to know that this person is my twin flame or might be?
Yeah. Do you know, it is a difficult question, being honest. I see so much stuff on the internet, and it's like 12 signs you've met your twin flame. To be honest with you, all of those signs, you can have them with a soulmate, somebody that's in your soul family.
Oh, what's the difference with a soulmate and a twin flame? Sorry to change the question.
Yeah, so your soulmate, soulmates, you can have loads and loads of soulmates. Loads of soulmates. You've got your soul family that have got the same frequencies and patterns that you are very close to you. So when you meet them, do you know, you said you're your friends and you've got that really mad connection.
Yeah.
That's like your soul family. So with your soulmate, it can bring up the same feelings as a twin flame. It's just not your mirror soul, that's all. So a twin flame can be just as great. But the signs that are a knowing, a sign that you've got something really great, but you're scared, like it is scary. But this is why, like, you know, I don't talk bullshit. I just say things that say good.
Yeah.
Those signs you get with your soulmate too. It's hard. It's hard to actually know. I think if anybody could tell you the exact sign that you will know is with your twin, I wouldn't believe them, because I don't think there is. I think it's about a real inner knowing, time and getting still and finding your own truth. And I don't think anyone else can really tell you.
So do you think yeah, that, okay, so with the twin flame, is it more about reflection and evolving, and with the soulmate, is it more about accepting each other as the way that you are? Or like, I'm trying to figure out what's the difference.
Yeah, I think that they can both bring you that. I think that the thing with this twin is that it is, like you said, the reflection. You're looking in the mirror, exactly in the mirror. So that's what that brings. And I also think, now this is something I would like to explore even more myself. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know all about this when I
Yeah.
You know, there is some people that say, and I would want to explore my truth on this before I said it for definite, that, you know, when you reunite really like properly in this life, then it is about that ascension process. So then your soul then becomes one, and then you ascend.
Okay.
But I couldn't say that's the definite truth, because I'm still exploring all this myself. So
yeah.
So I think that the twin flame is to do with when you really have that union really strong. It's about your soul coming together. So when you know, about the ascension process, your soul coming back as one. But I'll let you know when
you figure that out. Yeah, because it kind of what I'm thinking is that maybe you probably do meet initially as twin flames, and then you get to the point of soulmates.
Well, your soulmates. So your soul, yeah. So you've got your soul family first of all. So you would have your soul family, your souls that are very close in vibration patterns. There'll be people when you reincarnate that will be on a similar mission to you. Then, as you come to Earth, you keep coming to Earth, you keep reincarnating, you grow, you evolve. Your soul becomes so big and high frequency that it has to split. So then so that happens, and the next time you come down with your twin, but you probably won't be together. You'll just be doing your own different things. So usually your twin will be reincarnated. You're both growing, you're both evolving separately, then eventually you come back together, and in this lifetime you have that really close relationship that then you ascend and go off and do soul stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so what about the age group as well then? So could your twin flame be younger than you? Could your twin flame be older than you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you could be different. But I mean, this isn't, again, not general, but, you know, yeah, you can be. I've seen people that have been exactly the same age, like me and my man, we're the same age, but that doesn't mean to say that you could have different ages. Like, it could be absolutely anything, because sometimes it's like, I don't believe the universe puts like tests and all. I don't believe that the universe is trying to like catch us out. Mm-hmm. However, as part of our evolving, sometimes things are not always the easiest. So that's why they're in different continents or a different culture or a different race, something or different or the same sex or something that makes it not as easy. Like that can happen quite a lot, and I think it's because you've got to grow and evolve to get to a certain level. When imagine if you met somebody in a romantic way, you felt these feelings, these sexual feelings, and it was your twin flame, but it was the same sex.
Ooh.
What would you know what I mean? Like, would you be in a position to be able to accept that. Maybe that's why it takes some level of consciousness to be able to look at love for love and not for the outside
Within
stuff, like
in its boundaries.
its boundaries. Yeah. And so then if you met someone on a different continent, you know, would you do what it takes to be able to have that distant relationships and you know, so and it takes that alone would take you to evolve more, wouldn't it? So it's all these different things in the mix, and that's why it's not a clear subject.
It's not, and even the boundaries thing when it comes to twin flames as well, and soulmates and things like that, is a really big issue, because at the same time society's got its stigmas and its rules and regulations and its moralistic codes and ethics and all this crap that makes it difficult for you to kind of understand what you're supposed to learn or where you're supposed to grow to by entering situations that have boundaries that other people think that it questions your self-worth to go into those situations, whereas actually you might be elevating yourself, you might be healing that person.
Yeah, and it's like, say if you were brought in a family that were, you know, like, oh, well, you've got to stay in your own culture, your own race, for example, and then you meet this twin and you've got this knowing, and then you know, like, you've got your family telling you one thing and you've got this relationship, that's going to create some kind of involvement, maybe not even just for you and your twin, but maybe the family, the greater community. Like, there could be all kinds of things that spiral from that, and it's really a question, isn't it, that if you met this person that you know you're supposed to be with, but it wasn't like who you'd usually go for, they live far or whatever, or same sex or whatever, would you be willing then to let go of social, like society,
your sense of belonging? Because you're jeopardizing your sense of belonging then, aren't you, by wanting to, for example, I've got a friend and she was having an affair with this guy and he was having an affair with her. So he was married, but they met each other and they're just connected, and it was just like, oh my God, they're just connected. And everyone was kind of on her case, like, rude girl, like, it's questioning your self-worth, you know, what are you doing? He's never going to be with you, etc., etc., etc. And now they're together and he's divorced from the wife, and they've got a business together, and he looks after her kids like they're his own, and blah 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 blah. But and it you know, nobody could foresee that, only they could see it, you know. And she was just like, at the end of the day, there comes a point in life where you can't give a fuck about anybody else, you have to care about yourself.
But if you think about it, right, if you think about spirit doesn't know marriage or same sex or culture. It doesn't know none of that. That's just human stuff, isn't it? So it comes to a point, are you going to go with spirit and with love? Because the only thing that's real is love. Like, everything else is all an illusion. Or are you going to go with the illusion? And I think that boils down to it, doesn't it? Are you going to go with spirit and love, or stay with the illusion, stay with the falseness of this stuff that we all make up? Because it is a load of bullshit. We are spirit, and that's it.
No, it's true. But that's just a typical example when people, I mean, some people do, you know, enter into affairs and things like that based on their lower level self, you know, and it is questioning self-worth and things like that. However, we can't tarnish all, you know, engagements with the same brush. Sometimes there's that twin flame attraction.
Yeah, and what do you do about that? You can't say, oh, I'm not going to be with my twin because I'm married. I mean, you know what? I suppose there is right ways to do things. No, not right ways. As you would say, being integrity with how you're doing that. But that's only your integrity that you can question. No one else can question your integrity. But if you stay in integrity with how you're acting, and I'm not saying stick to cultural morals but your integrity, then actually you're never going wrong, are you?
No. And that's the beauty of being conscious.
It is.
I love it because you drop the self-judgment, you drop everything. You know, you can enter into situations and think, you know what, I don't want to do that again, because you've done it. Do you know what I mean? You can fuck up and you can do great things, and it's all about you deciding creating your own spinal cord of integrity, you know, your own 10 commandments, so to speak.
100%. You know what? We all, like, anyone that sits, so we've had this conversation loads, haven't we? Oh, they don't go into ego and they don't, you know, it's a load of bullshit. I go into ego all the time. I just know when I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Stay there and sometimes I get myself out.
Yeah, yeah. It's like one of my friends. She said, "I'm not talking to you because I want to stay in my ego." Because she knows if she phones me, I want to drag her out of it. And she's like, "No, I don't care. I'm staying here. I'm all up in my ego, and I'm consciously in my ego." So.
Sometimes you want to be there, you want to be pissed off, you want to be mad at someone. Sometimes you've got to stay in that space, and she's smart because really, sometimes I'm surprised she didn't stay there forever. She would have.
No, she's not gonna.
Actually, you know what I mean? And I think that's great. Like, I think more people should be like that rather than spiritual people trying to tell people how to release all ego. And you know what? The way I look at it, whilst I'm in this life, I want to be human. I love being conscious. I love my spirituality. Like, I love that. But I'm here. I'm going to do human shit because we're not. You know, we're not independent. I'm not going to do human shit anymore. So I'm going to make the most of it.
And not in a way that's going to bring any harm to anybody as well at the same time. Do you know what I mean? You can be upset with someone and be in your ego in your house on your own, or you know, it's like you have those two friends in it. You have that one friend that, you know, you can curse out the world and be like, yeah, F this, F that, blah 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 blah, and then you got the other friend that's like, okay, now we need to rationalize things, babe.
Yeah.
And it's about fluctuating the balance with those two, you know.
100%. And you know what, as well, it's about, you know, for me, I think that it's about, you know, not staying in these places. Like, when you're younger and, you know, you can stay in those places for ages. Like, I'll get into my ego. It's not long, and I'll come back and I'll send everyone some love, you know. I'll balance the energies.
Yeah. Exactly. It's interesting. Because I get it a lot. Like, people projecting because they're always questioning my behavior and the things that I say because they see me as this kind of saint, you know, probably because of my knowledge base and my energy, you know. But I have to stay very focused and know when it's not about me.
Yeah.
Very, very focused.
Yeah, no, it's true. The thing is, if you're real, you know, you're real and you are in integrity. But just because integrity doesn't always fit in with what other people think you should be integrity with, then, you know, and but again, people are all on their path, aren't they? And, you know, you're here and you're bringing this stuff up for people, and that's good. We need to bring that stuff up because without bringing it up, we'll never be able to heal it.
Yeah, and it's that thing again when you go back to the twin flames, when you're in a relationship with your twin flame, it's about understanding, you know, when you're supposed to learn off the person, you know, in order for you to reach that higher level, or in order for both of you to reach that next level. And I think in a nutshell, that's what we're figuring out about twin flames. That person is literally you.
Yeah.
Whether you two elevate together or not, whatever happens, that person's you. So, and that's what you need to understand.
Yeah.
Wow. And it just depends on how much self-love. And is the door knocking now?
No, do you know what's just happened? I'm really ridiculous sometimes. I put my bin out, and I thought they'd emptied it, and I put it back, and they've just come and emptied them, so it's not been emptied at all.
You just realised that you thought you were...
Yeah, so I put my bin out, I brought it back after the school run, and I've just seen the bin come and empty everyone else's bin, so I must have brought back a full bin. You know what was going on there.
Blondie, absolute blondie.
Grey roots, that's what it is. Me.
Don't make me laugh, Em. Do not make me laugh. No, but yeah, it's a deep topic. It is a deep topic, and it's kind of like now, like when you meet your twin flame, you have to have a level of you have to be confident, you know. Like it's not like a normal relationship, you know, twin flame is in a partner. You have to be confident because you have to be at that level of self-awareness, and then that's where that's why the dynamics of the situation actually changes. Because like with me, I'm quite shy, so when I meet if I meet someone who I think is my twin flame, they will be shy as well. So how is that going to work if we're both kind of being standoffish and shy? How do you get what I'm saying? Like, how is that going to work?
100%. So sometimes you've got to compensate for that element, because if you don't, that they won't, because you're probably the more, like, maybe the more conscious one. So you've got to then do, but then that's probably what you'd that's a good learning process, because then you'll be able to do that in other situations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe you might have a client. Maybe you might have a client that's quite shy, and it might mean that you need to assert yourself. Or you might have a kid that's quite shy and reflects that in you. And in order for your relationship to develop, you're gonna have to like kind of create scenarios to get that intimacy going.
Because you might as well, in the past, you may have judged people for thinking that they've been standoffish when they're not. They're just not as forthcoming, or they might have been shy. And so then when you see it in yourself and your twin, then you can be more understanding of.
And I think a lot of the times women expect men not to be shy as well.
Yeah.
Like that's another.
100%. See, I've always took the bull by the horn. That's just me. I'm like very, like when it comes to men, just very much like that. But sometimes that's not good either, because sometimes that can be out of balance.
Yeah.
If you're too much. So again, it's being aware of sometimes when you can be overpowering and overbearing, and it's about balance, isn't it, really? And
yeah.
But it's the best thing ever. I've been with my guy for a year. Like, it's not been, there's been, like I said, physical constraints, but I absolutely, like, it's been the best thing ever. Him and my kids are my biggest teachers. I learned so much off them, so much. I think that the biggest thing that I would say is just be in space to be able to really look in that mirror and before you meet the twin and start to look at all these things, because I've done all that work. I found it a lot easier. And he loves himself too. He's very much like, he's got really good, strong self-love. And I don't know whether he's always been like that. He probably has. He's probably been like that. So that's the part of me that he brings out then, because he makes me feel even more confident when I might not have been. So it is a great thing. It is great.
Yeah. Oh, we've got to go because it's getting to an hour now. So when can we find where can we find you and your services?
The best thing to do is to come over to the Manifest Like a Goddess Facebook page. Should I put the link into the comments?
Yeah, when we finish, put it in.
Yeah. I have got a masterclass around meeting your soulmates. It's a bit of an old one, and there's a link to a program that's not running, but I'll put the link in there because there might be someone that might want to get some steps and some like how I manifested and what they could do. So I'll pop that in as well.
Awesome.
For that as well.
All right then. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your time, sweetheart. I've learned so much, and one of the key things that I've learned is over the past probably couple of months actually, is that men are shy as well, and it doesn't mean that they don't like you or whatever. It's just that they're shy.
Not to take it personally, just quickly, that's one of the biggest things I learned from my last relationships, because everything, I'd be like, oh, why has he been in the mood? Why has he done this? Why has he not? Well, everything was about me. Honestly, it was terrible. And everything I made it all about me. And actually, it could just been a bad day. But then because I made it all about me, then that was like really egotistical. And that was a big thing. They're all about us. They've got stuff going on too, haven't they? Oh. Thank you so much, my love. I've had a lovely time. Thank you.
Okay.
And I will see you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye, honey.
Bye.
How lovely. Oh my god, I hope you all enjoyed that. Emily will post some links to her website and her soulmate masterclass in this thread, so you can continue to get some further information on twin flames. Woohoo! All of the stuff that I talk about, like, these are like topics that I'm interested in as well, so I just get really engrossed, and sometimes I forget to kind of ask a question. I'm like just listening because I'm just like so intrigued with everything that my guests are talking about. I just think it's awesome. We've got 2 more weeks. I'm looking for people who want to share their services or their products or their knowledge. So let me know. I'm booked up for the next 2 weeks. The next 2 Motivational Mondays are booked up, but we have slots after that. So if you would like to speak with Sereena Noor on the platform, then you're more than welcome to join